Okay. Hi, Mel.
Hi Anna, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
Oh, first of all, would you like to introduce yourself first?
People call me Mel, in short, and
Mm-hmm.
I currently reside in Eli, but I'm from KL actually, so I go back to KL, Malaysia all the time. Currently, I'm working as a key account sales engineer.
Actually, Mel is my friend, and we met in a Christian fellowship. There was this one time he shared about his testimony about some of the amazing things that happened with him in the past, and literally a lot of people cried when he shared this story.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
basically, people in Inti know me as some sort of a leader because since the time I've been in, I quickly went into the CF committee, and I also after that achieved a lot in leadership in T. And pretty much everyone that sees me, they only see the more of the success. It was me in a family that my parents were pastors. My mom and dad were missionaries, so I kind of lived a very godly life when I was young, and very much into Bible quizzes, Sunday school. I also went to a boarding school where I, went there for having good results, and then coming out of there and going into a university with full scholarship. So it was pretty much very bright until I went to a university called Nila University, where I wouldn't say it wasn't bright because I did get a good scholarship and I was studying well, but I had more of my freedom because I was over there, and I used the freedom wrongly. I would say I went more into having fun rather than just staying with the basic, going to Christian fellowships and stuff like that. So I didn't go to Christian fellowship. I purposely did not enroll myself in any sports because I was very well. I was not only academically well, but also in sports. I used to be a runner, so I got the scholarship for athletics actually, not for academics. Yeah. So over there, I purposely took off myself from academics, from sports, and from the Christian life. But on Saturdays and Sundays, I was more of a Christian. But on weekdays, I indulged more into bad habits, such as smoking, drinking. That was a start. Um, of course, I still do drink, but I what I meant during that time was it was more intense. But the drinking wasn't that bad because almost every college student does it at that time. And then it went one step higher. I started smoking, and friends, invited me, and I myself wanted it. Wanted to go wild because I was always tamed, disciplined, following the scriptures. So I wanted to just go have freedom. And then I started to try weed, try marijuana. And then it went more into me taking it often. And then I had a group of friends who also took ecstasy. They go to concerts. Okay. So that was still okay. It was already hard drugs. It's quite bad, but it was still okay up to the point where I realized that I do not have much money to buy this kind of stuff, to buy weed. To Yeah, I didn't have that kind of money because my family was not a very well-to-do family. As I said, they were pastors and living off the offerings. I was in Eli alone, so I went more into buying little stuff and selling it off. That's when my buy and sell came in more like a runner, and then I developed a habit into becoming a dealer, taking bigger stuff, taking kilos of weed, kilos of marijuana, and reselling it, packaging them, reselling it. So my free hostel room that was given by the university was converted more into a drug packaging area. We package the drug and then we sell it off. So that's how my life was going. I became more and more, I transformed into a dealer. And then I realized that it was super bad. 2012, 2013, this happened. So I decided to, stop this because I was a youth leader. So I went to a church camp. I wanted to stop it. Somehow or other, I said a prayer to God and told him that, I want to stop this, but I can't because I was already addicted. I used to smoke before class, after class, during class. I used to skip school. I mean, and do this full time. I used to, you know, go to concerts, pay for my friends. What could happen? I mean, you name it, it happened. I stopped selling first. I prayed about it. I stopped selling. My friends were okay with it. Obviously, we weren't too happy about it, but then they understood. But I still continue my addiction and my habit. Um, this happened after a few months where I finished my final exams, was back home, almost about 2-3 weeks not taking the drug, and then something happened. I had a a time where I became violent, and after becoming violent at home, I was admitted to a hospital by a church member, and then I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And at this time, I was so violent that I didn't know what had gotten into me. And after recovering, only I understood that I had a bipolar disorder with split personalities, and I had three personalities. One was I thought that I was my grandfather. One more was a violent personality, which I didn't have a name for it. I can't remember myself, whatever I done during that personality. And the other personality was I thought I was Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So these three personalities basically gave the reason why I developed these personalities because I watch a lot of movies. I know a lot about Bible, and my grandfather is very what to say influential in my life. So this actually spin about in my head and made this concept of these three things happening. And then I had to undergo some electroconvulsive treatments where they put stuff on your body and shock you. The electric shock thing where you sleep. So this time you are unconscious and you're fasting. So only my parents and my mom, some church members get to see uh, what's happening to me. So I'm totally unconscious and I'm considered mad. I was in a psychiatric ward in University Hospital. Yep. So and over there, people were there in that ward for like what 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, and not recovering. So my parents thought that I might end up like that. They were praying relentlessly, and even my church members, I owe it to them. They were praying so hard for me, and finally, after so many people visited, amazingly, um, the doctor diagnosed me with kidney failure, with some liver issues, positive for marijuana, positive for ecstasy, and other drugs in my body. And all of those, after a month of getting discharged, it was just a miracle where my mom stopped me from having 6 ECTs in the package to just two and discharged me with faith. After I got home, I was just taking normal medication, and after a week or two, I came back for a blood checkup, and they found out that my liver is completely clean, my kidney is completely clean, 100% functioning normally, no no drug stains or whatever in my body, all completely clean, which is not so possible in a month's time. So that's when I completely surrendered my life to God, where you got me out from someone who's mad back to normal. You got me out from times that I was trafficking drugs on the road with maybe, half a kilo or 1 kilo in my car of drugs when I could get caught anytime. And like over here in Malaysia, that time it was, getting hanged to that. And you protected me from all those. And finally, you answered my prayer that I want out, and I got it. I had a big U-turn, and I I was lucky that I was medically ill, that I could turn back without any police record whatsoever, without being jailed, without being dead as a sinner.
What made you want it to stop? Like you said, you were a drug dealer, basically. But then at one point, you just wanted to stop. What happened in between that?
Actually, what happened is I had the basic knowledge in me, and I feel that the Holy Spirit never left me. The Holy Spirit was always in me. Whenever I did all this stuff, I will have a guilty feeling of, should I be doing this? That like someone speaking inside you saying that, hey, what are you doing? When I'm in concerts, I take the ecstasy pill, then I just have this nightmares like, oh crap, what am I doing? I have that feeling, the feelings that just like pushes me and say something to me. It's like indescribable feeling, actually. And then I got more guilty when I went to church camps. I was the youth leader at that time, and I was the some leader that conducted the church camp. I think they call it camp commandant. So I used to go out of the campsite, you know, smoke a joint, and then go back in because I had to take it. But over there, I was leading the games. I was doing church activities. I've People were looking up to me as a leader, and I was doing this at that time. So I felt really bad. Like, you are a hypocrite. I keep like pushing myself, and I think it's also Satan showing that you are not, you're not worth it at all. But that's the turning point that made me feel that, actually you shouldn't be doing this. God have given you so much, and you are leading people, and you are not worth. If you're doing this, you better stop. So that's what that made.
I'm sure they didn't know at first, right? And then when the result came out, they know about it. So how was their reaction to that?
I think the reaction of my parents were even more than I mean, I expected. When I was doing drugs and all, I was like, if my parents knew that I was smoking, that would be like some world war happening at home. But it was just the opposite, because the parents who like can't take drinks or smoking, suddenly they know that their child is a drug addict, and worse, a drug dealer. You would think that, oh, this parent is going to disown this child and like, like throw him away or like kill him, or stuff that children nowadays say. Like, if my mom knows, if my dad knows this, he'll kill me, he'll hang me upside down, he'll do this stuff. But when it happened, right, I actually saw how loving my parents were, because they were at a point that they couldn't do anything. They already know that their son is like into this, and they wanted their son back, because they dedicated my life when I was born to God. So when this happened, they were like, they were in a state of shock, but they were pleading to God, like, give my son back to me. They were praying, and my mom especially, she was like writing verses, sticking all around my room, cleansing my room, and praying for me every day. Come and visit me every day. Um, Tell all the church members, and then my church was praying for me every Sunday. I was in the church bulletin, stuff like that. So like people really cared, and my parents really really cared for me, more than ever. So I think advice to a lot of kids out there, children, youths, even adults, that might think that the parents, do not love them, or are too strict to them, or will always be against whatever they do. When you get into trouble, I'm pretty sure that your parents are going to come running after you, and pleading to God to save their child. Yeah. So that's something great that I will never forget about my parents, and my sister, my mom, my dad.
If there's someone out there who's watching this and they're actually struggling, um, like this, they're addicted to drugs, or they're a drug dealer, or they're literally whatever that you did, what are the things that you would like to say to them?
Many that are not into drugs might say that this is a very very bad thing to do, But those who have indulged in drugs actually will know that every common person, a lot of them are actually doing this. So if you walk into students that you think they are very good, they are studious and stuff, they have tried drugs, they have done drugs, or they are still maybe addicted to it. So it's every common person. So people do judge if they are not into it, and people who are in there, they will understand. So that's the first thing I want to say, because you might feel that it's common. You might feel that, hey, a lot of people are doing this. You know, my lecturer is doing this. My friends are doing this. My, you know, my this, my that are doing it. So it feels like it's common, but it's actually not, because you are chosen to be that person that is not supposed to do this kind of stuff. You know, you are chosen by the Holy Spirit. So if you want to do it, and you are in it, okay, you want to come out of it, you must first believe that God has chosen you for a different reason, that you are not the same as others. You must first believe that, you know, I am different. I don't want to be in here. You need to have that feeling first. And you need to know the reason you want to stop. If you're going to do it for the reason of for your girlfriend, for your for your wife, for your mom, for your friend who said, hey, stop smoking, it's not going to work. Is You're going to hide it from the person. So don't ever stop for another person. But if you want to stop, you need to stop for God. I wanted to keep my life pure for Him. I wanted to keep my body pure for Him. So I didn't want to you know, stop for anyone else. That I mean, I'm not proud of this, but I'm happy that God gave me this experience and took me out of it. If He gave me this experience and did not take me out of it, then I'm doomed. But just because I'm out of this, I have a feel or experience of how people in this realm feel. You know, I can actually connect with these people. Yeah, but those who have never went into that might not have that connection. I might not even understand of what they are actually facing.
When we're talking about addiction, it's a roller coaster ride, isn't it? So when you decide to follow God, you decide to be serious about that. There must be, time where you really wanted to go to that path again.
It was not like one day I thought, and then the next day I'm healed. You know, it was not that. It might seem so simple, but actually I was thinking about stopping. I was in it 2012, 2013. I wanted to stop somewhere in June. At that time I was pretty well to do with all the drug money. I had another account, black money account. I was doing pretty well. And yeah, I wanted to stop in June, but I took about 3 to 4 months to actually like say that, hey, I know it's wrong, but hey, I think you need to stop it right now. That kind of feeling. It took about 3 months. So I feel like I want to stop, then I go back. Feel like I want to stop, I buy another kilo, I keep selling, and then I go back into that, backslide again. October or December during exam period, yeah, I wanted to stop it, but I couldn't stop like that. My hands were shivering and stuff like that. I actually smoked a bit too much, so I was I had a withdrawal syndrome, so couldn't stop, but I stopped selling. Yeah, so it was not easy, and only after that, in December is the time that I was had the problem, and only in January 2014 is when I was admitted to the hospital for bipolar disorder, and I only came out end of January. February is the time I came out, so I actually deferred one semester. So it was like a lot of downtimes during my this period. It took about almost 6 months to 8 months to actually recover completely. When you take marijuana, you become a bit slow, and you can do stuff, you can still study, but you become a bit slow. So when I was back to university, it was like really fast. Stuff was really easy for me. Yeah. So after that, I worked in a gym where I found my soulmate. Yeah, I found my girlfriend over there. I was working in the gym, and then 2015 I joined AT. When I got back to college, and I saw other friends smoking up, or drinking, or because that time when I went back, I completely stopped smoking, drinking, everything. So when you see people in front of you doing it, I was so glad that I did not even get the feeling to do it. Meaning
Oh, really?
I hated it all the more. Yeah, so someone could smoke in front of me and I didn't even get the feeling of smoking, and that doesn't happen because a lot of people get that feeling back again. Yeah, but then when I went back to the work life where people are smoking cigarettes, friends and all, I did go back into it. Okay, I did go back into like a few puffs, then into one stick, two stick, but I never had the feeling for drugs. And yeah, I always it was more of smoking cigarettes. And then even when I came into Inti, I think my first semester, I used to smoke like one or two sticks every now and then. The first semester, yeah. And then I had a with one member of CF. Actually, I have if you know Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some of you might know Wayne. Whoever's listening to this video, remember Wayne? Shout out to you, Wayne, if you're watching this.
Yeah.
So I had a good sharing session with him during my first sem, and then by the end of first sem, um, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, not so sure about timeline. I recommitted my life to God and said that I want to stop this totally, and I managed to do it. I just smoked my last stick and threw it away. It's not easy to completely give up after having a addiction. It's not easy, especially friends around you. But it's not impossible because when you have good friends around you and when you commit your life to God, He's gonna help you. So it's not impossible. It's hard, yes, it's difficult, but you can do it.
Do you still remember what when Wayne said to you that made you want to stop?
Actually, it was not about him telling me that I want to stop, that I should stop. It was more that I telling him that I want to stop. And the best part of it was when I told him, he didn't judge me. Yeah, when he got to know about me, in fact, he actually got to know about me because I was smoking, and he bumped into me, he saw me, but he didn't judge me. So I felt it that hey, this guy, Christian guy, that time he was the chairperson of CF. So I wanted someone to talk to, and I had the feeling of talking to him, and he didn't judge me. He didn't. Instead, he shared his personal sins. I shared my personal sins. We gave our life to God together, and you actually didn't feel that bad. Like, hey, you're not that bad. Actually, it's Satan the one that's saying that, hey, you're not worth for the kingdom of God. But there are people that have done worse stuff, and God accepted them. So why not you? So it's not about the level of sin to God. It's about you recommitting your life, and God is there for you.
What are the things that you would like to say to people if they're Christian, when they are, when they are in the same situation?
If your friend is facing the situation and you are that Christian that is inviting your friend to CF, inviting friend to church, or you want to share to them, or you just know that this guy is a Christian but he's not doing the right things, you want to rebuke him, you want to tell him that you should stop this. There's a way of doing it. Actually, at first you need to understand them. You cannot judge them, because if I was that person and someone comes and tells me that, hey, you still alive. I didn't see you for so long. You where have you gone? You taking drugs, is it? The moment they say that statement, is like you already put a wall. Like, I'm not gonna talk to this person. What's wrong with this guy? So don't do that to your friends. If you have friends who are, that they are doing this, talk to them like a normal person, speak to them normally, and try to be on their side before you actually have the guts to rebuke them or tell them that, hey, why don't you know what's up with this, or then start the conversation. So don't straight away dive in and say that, hey, what you're doing is wrong. Yeah, and they will say the same thing to you. Whatever you are doing is wrong as well. So you're not so good a Christian as well yourself. But if you are the one who is into this addiction, whichever addiction you are in, I think the best advice for you is always take your decision between you and God. Don't listen to others. Their bad stuff that they tell you that you are good for nothing and stuff like that. Don't listen to those stuff. And also, I know you will get really annoyed with Christians who come and tell you that, hey, what you're doing is terrible. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to get tattoos. You're not supposed to, drink. You're not supposed to do this. Not supposed to hang out with girls. So many not supposed to. But then they are also doing different stuff. So there will be people like this, and they will not understand you. But you always need to set your eyes on God because no one is perfect except for Him. So make sure you get the right friends that will actually help you out of this. Yeah. Actually, to tell you the truth, after stopping weed and everything, I told you I smoked some, right? So when I shared to Wayne, it was like the fourth or fifth time that I recommit. There were so many times before that I was like, I want to stop. I didn't. I want to stop again. I didn't. So when I came to Inti, it was the time where, hey, I decided to stop smoking. I recommitted my life to God. So there was multiple times that I recommitted my life to God. I went to CF the next Wednesday. I was like the first to go besides the committee. Yeah, so excited. So I taught a lot of my previous experience to them of what I learned. And I also learned a lot during that time, leading people in CF, um, to how to handle issues and problems in a different perspective. And I always had the perspective that you were not a holy person. You were always a sinner. You had these habits. So when people come to CF, I always had a different approach to how others look at them. Others look at them as like, hey, you're a sinner. This guy did this. This guy is smoking. This guy is that. But I always welcome those smokers. I always welcome those people that others judge, but I don't. So that was different because I had this experience previously. Yeah. So hopefully you guys do that too.
When you see people stop going to church because of their personal problems, struggles, sin, whatever it is, well, is there any approach that you do to help them go back to church or Christian fellowship?
It's very difficult to give an advice when you are already feeling that feeling towards church and towards Christian people. So the advice will be more to Christians itself to not judge people at church, to not look at them in a different grade, to not tell stuff to them that they are different and they shouldn't be doing this when attending church. That is one. And if you are that person, you need to know that church is a place for sinners. People who are at church are not that godly. People who are, you know, at these organizations are elected to be that person, not because they are holy. It's just because they are, you know, given their lives to serve God. But if you want to be at church, it's the right place to be because it is filled with sinners. Just that they have different tones of sins to man's understanding, but to God, all sins are one, and He's not going to judge you more than the other. So always be prepared to go to church.
What is your Bible verse that help you to go through all of that?
Jeremiah 29:11. This Bible verse was from my mom actually. It's like a promise verse that she had a lot of promise verses, and this one is the one that brought me out of it because at that time in the hospital I couldn't really read the Bible. I kind of lost my mind after the electroconvulsive treatment. I lost my memory, so I felt like a young child which can't read much. So that was the verses that I learned during that time. I can get out uh, of stuff because God has plans for me to prosper. God has a plan for me to come out of what I am now and have a future that is a blessing to others. So that was a verse that inspired me at that time. After that incident, I keep going higher and higher and higher and higher, and so many things. God gave me blessings just like that. Cannot be told. Like awards after awards after opportunities after opportunities. The list keeps going on and on. So never doubt God because always has this plan for you to prosper. Just have the trust in Him.
A lot of people are struggling with addiction and they don't come out because they're afraid to be judged. And thank you so much for that. And it's really nice catching up with you.
Thank you for having this call with me, and a testimony to this whole program to actually inspire others. And it's all for the glory of God. I just want to tell that it actually has nothing to do with my achievements in life, but everything is basically God given to me. Yeah. So all glory and honor to God for who I am today.
Thank you so much, Mel. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this a like and subscribe to this channel. And see you in my next video. Bye, guys.